This Native American city had a meteorite in it, and we're not exactly sure why. So this is Paquime, also known as Casas Grandes, and it's in northern Mexico, just below New Mexico. Here it is. It was fairly sizable. It weighed 3,407 pounds, so it's a big boy. And it was found by Teodoro Alvarado in like the 1800s, and he was not an archaeologist, so our info on it is bad. He found it entombed, not with a body, but just like in a wall situation, wrapped in fabric.
In a wall situation.
Not too long after it was found, it was acquired by the Smithsonian and cut up.
Why did they cut it?
As for where it came from, we also don't know. There's no nearby craters, although not all meteorites leave craters. And as for why it was important to the culture, they might have seen it fall, or they might have just thought it was a cool rock. We can't tell.
Interesting that there is Pharaoh Tutankhamun in Egypt. He had a dagger that was made with a blade that was forged from a meteorite. So I think ancient cultures they knew that ancient meteorites had like properties that they could use, maybe in metal alloys or whatnot, and they were turning them into swords and daggers and things. Well, at least they were in Egypt, so I wouldn't be surprised if ancient Mesoamerica also had that skill. Oh my god, I can't talk today.
When I got up this morning and saw these images, they sent chills running down my spine. Archaeologists from the University of Chester have just announced the discovery of a hunter-gatherer settlement dating to the end of the last ice age in Scarborough, England.
I heard about this!
So incredible about this find is that it dates to 12,500 years ago, which is a time before metal and pottery had made its way to Britain. What this means is that any tools or weapons were entirely made of wood or antler, and that's something that just very, very rarely preserves because of how quickly organic material decomposes in sediment. I've also tagged Professor Howard Williams' page Archaeodeath here because he works at the University of Chester, and I'm pretty sure he can provide some pretty amazing insight onto this. But anyway...
That's cool.
Look at this thing. Oh my lord. Okay, so the team hasn't released any information about this. This is all very preliminary, but to me this indicates that whoever made this was like really experienced with hunting, because otherwise they wouldn't put these barbs in. You know, they understood the need for these barbs to keep the spear attached to their prey. As if this one's not enough, there's also this one. Boy, so I believe this is the tip of a spear, and it has decorations along each margin, which you can see there. And I'm completely speculating here because, again, we don't have any further information. But based on my own knowledge and stuff, this would seem to indicate a few different things. So I would suggest that this firstly indicates symbolic behavior, which could be purely decorative, to keep track of kills, or it may relate to some kind of spiritual or religious belief. But it also suggests that this weapon or tool was probably very, very important to whoever owned it. Also sort of indicates to me that this was a long-term tool rather than something you made and then got rid of. For example, if you were using a type of wooden spear that you know is prone to breaking because the wood's fragile or whatever like that, it seems logical that you'd be less likely to spend time decorating that spear as opposed to something more sturdy like this that would last a long time and you'd...
Yeah, imagine. You'd have to reuse it. You spend all that time decorating your spear and then you just lose it. And you'd be like, damn it, that was my decorated spear. It took me 9 years.
Decoration would, make sense. I also think that despite a lot of popular media still depicting hunter-gatherers as constantly on the verge of starvation, this decorative practice is a strong indicator of leisure time, which is something you wouldn't have if you were constantly searching for your next meal. Inside the pit where this was discovered, there's also a bunch of animal bones including elk, red deer, beavers and water birds that were butchered, and their bones and antlers turned into weapons and tools, which shows that there's quite a wide variety of animals being hunted and eaten here. Interestingly, many of the weapons and tools appear to have been dismantled and then placed alongside the bones in the wetlands in this pit, which the team suggests might be indicative of rules surrounding the handling of butchered animals. These finds are so important because we just have so few of them, and organic tools and materials would have made up a huge part of material culture during these times, and for the most part there's just very little record of it, so this is an absolutely huge...
That's so insane. When you actually think about how long ago 12,000 years is, that is so long ago. Like, we get excited in England if we find a Roman coin or if we find a Saxon helmet or something. Like, and they're only like 1,000 years old. Give or take, 2,000 years old. But 12,000. That's like great granddaddy vibes. And if you didn't know, that England wasn't even an island. It wasn't even an island 12,000 years ago. It's very recently, in terms of like human history, become an island, it wasn't until like, I want to say like 6000 BC that there was like a landslide in Scandinavia, in Norway, and it caused this like huge tsunami that actually dug out the English Channel, and England broke away from France and the rest of Europe. We used to be connected to France and to Holland, but now we're an island, and I didn't know that until recently. So back at this time, when these dudes were running around their little spears, fancy spears, they could have literally run to like Amsterdam and back. I mean, it would have taken a long time, but you could do it. It was all land. If you didn't know, now you do.
And it's an amazing connection to people to see something that somebody made with their hands, and then this thing fed them and probably their families. It's just an incredible connection to the past that we just very rarely get. And I mean, I'm just so excited about this. I can't wait for the paper. And yeah, hit follow for more and check out ArchaeoDeath.
He's so cute. He's so excited.
When I got up this morning and saw these images, they sent chills running down my spine.
There's a bias in archaeology, and I'm not talking about a European bias or a cultural bias. I'm talking about a bias towards inorganic material. For example, you know what Stonehenge is, you probably don't know what Woodhenge is, because Woodhenge isn't around anymore. I mean, people need to get like their backyard fences replaced every 10 years. Wood doesn't last, leather doesn't last, cloth doesn't last, except under very specific preservation conditions like the one in the video I'm stitching. And so they're amazing treasure troves when we do find them, but it means that we have a lot more data on cultures that use stone, metal, clay, etc. than ones that use more organic materials in their material culture. And then some places have much better preservation conditions than other, like sub-Saharan Africa has like famously poor preservation conditions because it's warm, it's humid, it's very bad for material surviving. Like people think archaeologists are obsessed with pottery, and pottery can tell us a lot, but it's mostly just because pottery survives. Hypothetically, if there was a great pyramid-sized structure made of wood 100,000 years ago, we would have a really tough time finding it today.
Yeah, we wouldn't find it at all. This is something interesting. I've been thinking about this, about ancient cultures, and people go, well, where's the stuff? Like, where's the stuff and the structures and whatnot? And I'm like, what if they were really like zero carbon? What if they were like real eco cultures and civilizations back in the day, and just nothing is surviving from it? Even metal doesn't survive that long. A Tesla car would take literally within 5,000 years, it's all dust, it's all gone. It wouldn't even be there. The Titanic, which went down, 110 years ago, it will not be there in 200 years because of the rate that it is disintegrating at the bottom of the ocean. There's some sort of bacteria that's eating the iron and the rust and everything. And the Titanic will literally not exist in 200 years. So if you think about and that's the Titanic. What if there was a culture that built something as big as, or even half the size as the Titanic, 12,000, 15,000, 20,000 years ago? We would not know about it. The Earth like literally regenerates, and water levels rise and fall, and there's tsunamis and stuff. And like I'm holding space for the idea that we've lost a megaton of stuff, and probably because the cultures were zero carbon footprint and totally aligned with the ecosystem of the world, unlike us who just put plastic everywhere. Yeah, good point, Mr. Man.
Guess who forgot to change the title of her archaeology paper before handing it in?
Oh my god. Ancient aliens! That's amazing. I'd do that.
We got the marks back. I have not looked at this yet, so we're gonna look at it together. I haven't read any comments on like that my teacher might have given me, so we're just gonna look at it together. See what grade I get. See what comments, if she left any, what they are.
I think you get a good
We're gonna
grade.
have a fun little time with it. Analytical paper, 17.2 out of 20. I'm not mad at that.
That's like an A.
Also, the file name of your essay is hilarious. Well done. I'm not mad at it. It's TA approved. So, there we go. This is
Teachers
the update
have
that
sense
everybody's
of
been
humor
asking
too.
for. 17.2 out of 20. Not mad at it. The TA appreciated my fantastic file name.
Oh, she's cute. Well, cool. If you were here at the end of the video, then congratulations to you. You made it to the end of the video. If you want to see more videos, I post every week here at Funny Old World. Hope you have an amazing week, and happy hunting, guys.